Welcome back, Red Spot, another show here in the Red Spotlight Entertainment Podcast. I'm your host, Alexis J. Soto, and I'm joined by Peter Martinez. Today we have a wonderful show for you with some wonderful news, topics in the world of movies. We have Walmart announcing that 160 of its locations will, in association with the Tribeca Film Festival, transition into drive-in movie theaters, just as we were talking about last week. It'll probably not come to our area or your area, but it'll be around, I guess, somewhere, you know. We also have an update on the world of Tron from the Diz Insider as to projects that have been in development and those that are still to be determined. We also have Hamilton making its wonderful debut, and the whole world lost their minds and are still losing their minds. No, we don't have a review for you. That is an exclusive for the Fantasy Fair. You can imagine why that would be an exclusive over there. But we'll talk about the impact it's had and why it is being received the way that it is. Also, a movie review for the new Will Ferrell movie on Netflix, Eurovision Song Contest, the Story of Fire Saga. I think that's the full name of the title. As well as Tom Hanks not being happy at all with the fact that his movie has been shunted off to a streaming service, which that would be the movie Greyhound going off to Apple TV+. And, of course, it should be no surprise, we will be talking about the things that we saw this week, as well as some ridiculous headlines now that we're living the plague that is known as COVID-19. So all that and more here on Red Spotlight number 247. Peter, how are you doing today? No change from last week, I take it. No? How was your 4th of July holiday weekend?
Loud.
Annoyingly loud?
Oh, this country loves their explosions.
Yeah, I guess overall it was a pleasant holiday up until, of course, the sun went down and the fireworks started going off. And I'm sure listeners would already know of the news reports coming out of Los Angeles that night with it looking as if it were being bombed, basically, with illegal fireworks. Our area, and I can't remember this, you're going to have to help me here, Peter, but this felt unusual in terms of not just the number of fireworks that were going off, but the consistency. It went for, I want to say, 3 or 4 hours straight where there were fireworks going off every minute to every other minute.
People, I think, are just bored, you know? They got time. Some of them got money. And even if they don't, fuck it. Where we live, there has been fireworks every night. Every night for a month leading up to the 4th. And they're still going. It's the 6th. This is just life now, I guess. But yeah, it's so crazy because where I live, it's like I live like on a corner house, so it's like I look down the street, fireworks. Look the other way, fireworks. The up fireworks, and not the kind you get at a fireworks stand, mind you. I mean, they are going off as well, but I'm talking like the fucking, the big boys, just on a regular ass street. And it's so funny to me. I will never not find this hilarious. those fuckers are legal.
Yeah.
They're illegal. Yet, apparently, they're passed around all over California like hotcakes.
Yeah.
Like, everyone has them. Everyone. I'm the fucking lame one because I don't know where they're getting this shit. But it's like everyone. And this shit's supposed to be illegal. It's like the real life version of those after school PSAs where apparently everyone, just offers you drugs.
Mm-hmm.
But this time with fireworks, everyone just has fireworks in their back pocket. That illegal shit that flies up into the air and pops. But no, we got it here.
It just happened right now. Before we started recording, we were having a conversation and a couple of fireworks just went off. I don't know, because why not? And it's even gotten to the point where the latest episode of Fantasy Fair that we recorded last week with Kyle, that's up right now, he's about to finish off his thought, and you hear it in the recording. That's how loud it was, or close to him. A crackle go off, and then the fucking firework, and it's like, what the hell? It's... I mean, I love fireworks, but this is where one of those stories where I'm just being weird. I've never found it alluring for me to set off fireworks myself. I prefer to do the firework. I prefer to let the fireworks setting to the professionals. I've never understood the fascination with like holding one in your hand when it can go off any second. Like, I feel like a lot of people take this really weird pleasure in risking their limb while lighting up a firework in their hand.
I mean, and I was thinking this just yesterday. This whole fucking country, or not this whole country, this whole state set probably thousands of those things off upon thousands. On the 4th, how many injuries were there? I didn't hear of any.
I know that's weird, but there was all that time those fireworks were going off that night, there was shit falling on my window from firework debris. And even that night, there was, I'm not kidding you with this. There was a literal like toy soldier hooked up on a parachute that was part of a firework. I didn't know it was there until a few hours later, but apparently it landed next to my car. I could have lost my car in a fucking fire or some, damn, I don't know, accident that could have happened. But I also heard that someone's tree was set on fire that night because of firework debris.
But how many people died?
Well, there's COVID that's taking care of that.
Dude. See,
I don't know how many.
You're switching it up now.
What am I switching it up? I don't know. Like, how many died? Probably nobody. I don't know.
That's a pretty good statistic for how many of those fucking things went off that night. And you can just look up the videos in LA. Holy shit.
They didn't give a fuck.
Oh my god. At one point, I was outside and, it's dark. Trying to light some shit up.
Mm-hmm.
Firework. And then a big ass dog just walks by me. I'm like, what the fuck? It was probably scared, but it wasn't aggressive. It was just like, hey, how you doing? And then kept going. I was like, all right, bye. I don't know, it was weird. There is a lot of dogs where we live though. Like everywhere.
Yeah, they're not particularly fond of fireworks.
No.
Does Tootsie care?
My cat is afraid of literally everything. She does not give a shit about fireworks. They do not bother her in the least bit. Which is really weird, because like cars driving by the like road, or like they scare the shit out of her when they're loud. But a firework, shit sounds like Vietnam, you know?
It sounds like you're being bombed.
Yeah.
That's what the sound is.
And it's like, she's just chilling. She don't care. I'm like, okay, you're fine. All right. Yeah, it's weird. I don't know.
It's just irritating and annoying because the sound would not go away. And if you have dogs in the house, they do not shut up. So the 4th of July is literally like my least favorite holiday by a mile. For that very reason, obviously. So yeah, shall we talk about what we saw this week?
We could. You go first.
So I had pre-planned a July 4th marathon because we're at that point where, you know, that's all I can latch on to not, you know, fall into the abyss that is my mind. So I watched Lincoln in the first few hours of the July 4th holiday. What a better way to start off July 4th with watching Abraham Lincoln's brains bleed into a pillow.
Oof.
What?
I don't know.
Yeah, I know. Still remains one of my favorite movies ever. So, yeah. I also watched Independence Day, which, if you listen to our recent series on movies that made an impression on us, well, that's one of them. And that was a hilarious experience. Maybe a hilariously dark experience, because there were some stuff in there that I think when I first saw it, I would be like, people wouldn't be that stupid. No.
Now you wish that they would be that smart.
Yeah. Yeah, because there was this one scene I told you about where the news was asking people not to shoot at the UFO with their handguns.
I don't want to make this about something else, but like, we were kind of touching this on earlier. Certain people's arguments with films that really bother me are like, that's a character's action they don't like. They'll say that's stupid, and then they'll say it's a negative that the character did it because they perceive their action to be stupid. And it's like, have you met the people of this great United States? Like, and I always connected back to like when we used to watch at House of Cards. I remember reviews going like, this is ridiculous, you know, this would do, you know, okay, they kind of jumped the shark with this. And it's like, really, bitch? We're living it now. Like, I mean, this is dark. The storm I'm about to bring up, like, really dark. But the crazy QAnon lady who the daughter survived cancer, and then she intentionally took her to a church sanctioned COVID party to try and get the kid COVID. And then when the kid got sick, she gave her like the fucking medicine that Trump kept touting would help.
Hydrochloroquine?
Yeah. And then
the anti-malaria drug.
Yeah. And then the kid died. And like, just reading that story, I was beyond words, because it's, I just don't, what do you do with that?
Well, there were so many words in that sentence. I think people need to be are trying to wrap their heads around. First of all, a COVID-19 party, and then you add on a church sanctioned COVID-19 party. What?
Yeah.
What was the party about?
To get
to
the
say
COVID.
Fuck you to COVID-19? Oh my! Wait, you can't be. Was it the party was that the theme? Trying to get COVID?
Mm-hmm. I assume, and this is me assuming, which I probably shouldn't do because I'm giving them too much credit by even saying this. My assumption would be is they're like, oh, you know, it's just a cold. So just try and get them to get it. And then, once, like, fucking chicken pox, how some parents would have, like, chicken pox parties or whatever? Where it's like, you just give it to them, so then they build up immunity, and then they're fine. If I were to assume, I assume that's probably what that was about. But again, I don't know. Knowing the people with whom I'm talking about, it's probably something infinitely dumber, but... No, people, however dumb you might think an action of a person isn't in a movie, real life, people would probably act 20 times dumber. Like, imagine if the shit with Independence Day happened today. Trump would go to nuke it. And when it didn't work, he would try and throw 20 nukes at it. And when that didn't work, he would try and throw 50 nukes at it. And he would just keep nuking the thing until we were all dead. And then that would be the end of the story.
He would basically do the aliens' job for them.
Yeah. I mean, he's already doing that now. There's no aliens, so we shouldn't get depressing this early on. You saw Independence Day. Okay, what else you saw? Is that it?
No, Hamilton. I saw Hamilton immediately afterward.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Can I give my review of the film?
I see no reason why not to. It was one of the things I teased we're going to talk about, and that is its reception, although you didn't watch it.
Well, yeah, but I don't have to watch it. It's probably fine, and I'd probably find it overrated. Like, okay, God damn it. I guess that whole, like, immigrants, we get the job done, like, I'd heard it before, like, oh yeah, that's Hamilton. But I think I saw a clip in which it happened, and I'm like, oh, that's fucking lame. Like, the way it was done, like, it's so on the nose, and like, I don't know. To be fair, though, to be fair to Lin-Manuel Miranda, I saw the trailer for In the Heights, and that looks good. I'll give you, I want to see that. But, like, I don't know, this, maybe it's overhyped to me. Maybe. And I really don't want to be that asshole that's like, oh, it's overhyped, so I don't like it now. But it's just everything I hear about it, I just go like, oh, okay, I guess. I don't know. I'm feeling another Les Mis situation coming on. I would probably like Hamilton. Knowing me, I probably wouldn't like it as much as everyone else, but I also, knowing me, probably am not going to see it unless I'm forced to. How did you feel about, or do you want to hold that until the very exclusive review?
Fuck off, man. So I'm not going to get into my thoughts of it because I'm going to force myself to watch it again.
Okay.
To see if I happen to take things differently.
How long is it?
It is long. I would say, I think it's between 2.5 and 2:45.
Holy shit. Is there an intermission?
I think there is a 1-minute useless intermission. I don't know why they bother putting that in.
Put the full 15.
Yeah. I don't know why they would do that. So yeah, I saw Hamilton, and it was a lot to take in. I wasn't prepared for what it is. And the rest of my review will be exclusively on the Fantasy Fair podcast, which you can listen to every Friday on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, which at times may feature Peter Martinez.
Yeah, it's very exclusive. It's very hard for me to get in. What else did you see, or was that it?
So, well, that was it, and I wanted to talk about the. Okay, so, this is a phenomena. It really is, and everyone is. So many reactions I've seen on social media this weekend of like people who like watched it for the first time and are saying, "Oh my God, it was not overhyped at all. It was beautiful. It was amazing. It was the best thing ever." It's gotten so much praise. There have been, in the course of today, several industry journalists trying to do a back and forth about whether or not the Hamilton film on Disney Plus was eligible for awards consideration at the Academy Awards. That's how positive. It's not.
Oh, okay.
No, it's not. The Academy definitively said that recordings of a stage play are not eligible for the Academy Awards. We should, of course, mention that the play, the musical, Hamilton, has I don't know how many Tonys, which is what Broadway is about. And that also brings a different discussion, not just exclusive to Hamilton in and of itself, but it is, I think, an interesting discussion. I think you and I should have, because I don't think this is going to be a sanctioned topic at Fantasy Fair. I have my suspicions.
Oh, okay.
And that is the feelings we have toward Broadway itself. And you seem to have some pretty, I'd say, polarizing opinions on Broadway as a medium that clearly the rest of this panel doesn't necessarily have. Although, to be clear, I've attended nothing of, Broadway level, obviously, but I've attended some plays and they're fun. It's never been my preferred medium.
Are you saying I don't like fun?
That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm just trying to clearly, as I can, state what my feelings are about stage plays. And for the most part, I think they're good and they can be good. And for the ones that I've attended, mind you, they've all been student run stage plays, but nonetheless, they were entertaining. But I've never considered myself like a Broadway person. Like, I can't even name you 5. Except for the ones, of course, that were like adaptations of like Disney movies, which is like all of them apparently. But Cats, because they made a movie out of that.
Cats was a masterpiece. Okay.
So I mean, you mean the movie, though?
The movie,
or the musical that was on Broadway?
Not that one. The movie. That's where it really shined. I don't, because this goes back to your whole thing of like, oh, you hate music, which is not true. And I know, try and stretch that shit out to, I hate musicals, which also isn't true.
I never said you hated musicals.
Could maybe be inferred. But
it wasn't.
But specifically with Broadway, so to speak, my issue comes from the fact that it is for the rich, basically, to enjoy and only enjoy. And that brings with it issues in that everything that they choose to show on Broadway is geared toward not offending that demographic. So, how revolutionary can your show about revolutions truly be when the people you're counting on to make your show successful are the rich establishment of said society. You know what I mean? And then and I noticed that's why a lot of the films that I've seen where it's like, oh, major hit off Broadway, from like Rent to Cats, and I haven't seen Hamilton yet, but I guess some people have complained, and I'm like, yeah, maybe, probably, is that they really have no teeth. Is, you know, they have wonderful songs and you know, wonderful performances, and the dancing and the singing, and in this Hamilton's case, the rapping, I'm sure is all really well done and well produced. But at the end of the day, it just comes off as a lot of fluff, because you can't really dig in story-wise or anything like that, because you can't offend, you know, the guy with the $200 seat sitting in the front row. I actually have no idea how much they cost.
Oh, that is way off.
Is it really? What do you think?
I don't even know.
I'm
to
gonna
be
look it
clear,
up.
I have no, but I mean, 2,000. For cheap seats, maybe, I think. I don't know how much they cost, but I mean, it's been running for years, but like, it's still considered, well, I think Broadway in and of itself, as you mentioned, is a luxury.
Let me see. The average paid admissions to Hamilton has run from about $270 to $310 during non-holiday weeks. That figure includes premium seats that indeed cost as much as $849. During some holiday periods, they have come close to $1,000.
Oh my god.
So yeah.
Oh my god.
Well, like, remember when Lin-Manuel Miranda himself and the cast of Hamilton, like, they called out the vice president, Pence, because Pence, went to go see it. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird, right? Because with like books, anyone can pick up a book and write a book, right? So the types of stories they're able to tell there are pretty extraordinary, because anyone can do it. Just grab a piece of paper and a pencil and you go. Even something as crazy as like film, where it is, you know, not the cheapest thing in the world, but you can make very inexpensive films, you know, indie films. People make films with a fucking iPhone, you know? Everyday people can just go out there and just make something, because everyone really has smartphones now. You just pull it out and go. With a massive Broadway stage musical, la 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 la. Yeah, you're really only serving the upper class 99% of the time, and that really influences the types of stories you tell, I think.
Did you have the quote that you share with us? And I asked this hoping that you recall that you shared this with us.
Probably not. Go ahead.
Lin-Manuel Miranda talking about why he didn't include much more of slavery.
Oh, probably because it was depressing. I think it was something like that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And again, some people hate on Lin-Manuel Miranda. I see no reason to hate on him. He seems like a cool dude. Yeah. I've liked all his work so far. That's why I say I probably would like Hamilton to some extent. I probably wouldn't be crazy about it, but I'd probably enjoy it for the most part. But also, like, yeah, you're not gonna make a successful Broadway musical exposing the warts of America's founders and being like, they owned slaves and they were this and they were that. Like, no. Again, you could maybe write a book, you could do a movie, hell, do a fucking song. But a Broadway stage musical? No. You just can't. You can't. That's kind of where my issues lie with the medium.
Right. And I think they're valid. as far as like the whole teeth thing is concerned, especially there were other criticisms of the fact that in the play, Alexander Hamilton is portrayed as having abolitionist tendencies, when of course that is false on almost every account.
Yeah, in real life, it's more close to like, yeah, I guess slavery kind of sucks. Anyway, I'm gonna go sell these two guys. Like, he was, I guess, because he said, yeah, slavery's kind of not cool, I guess, a couple times, but then still continued, never really fought. It was never a priority for him, like, ever. And I do get Lin-Manuel Miranda wanting, dramatization. The fact that it's a musical where people of color are playing these roles and everything's wrapped, like, it's very clear that it's not intending to be historically accurate.
Yeah.
So,
and that's not, and to be clear, I'm not saying that's an issue.
Yeah,
I'm saying those are criticisms that people have brought up in giving people a wrong interpretation of what reality was. With Alexander Hamilton. And not that it's intended to be like 100% what things were, but as, historians always want to like, insert themselves and say, well, this could,
I've also haven't seen the play, so you can tell me. Is it really necessary to make him an abolitionist? Is it integral to the story?
It really isn't at all.
So why
maybe
add it?
Maybe it plays into, he's not really like
it feels like it's added just to make you feel for the character easily. Like, oh, he's an abolitionist, he's a good guy, I'm on his side. Yeah, but it's also like, well, there's nothing wrong with a morally gray character.
Yeah. It's hard to describe.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you want to know what I watched?
We're already here, aren't we?
I watched nothing. I've been very busy. That's why I made you go first. But I have been doing a couple of other things. Well, I did see Eurovision. I got around to it at the last second.
Which we'll review at the end of the show.
Yeah. I've been playing a lot of Resident Evil 4, because that is one of my favorite video games. It is very good, and I enjoy it very much. I am playing on expert difficulty, and I am fucking sucking, but I'm gonna finish it, because I've been trying to finish it on that level for years now, and I'm very bad at video games, but I enjoy some of them, and this is one of the best video games of all time, so I'm doing it. And then also, I've been doing a little bit of reading. I have it right here, so I can show you. Not you, anyone listening, CIA operatives. But Mr. Alexis J. Soto. It is Guillermo del Toro at home with monsters inside his films, notebooks, and collections.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's really cool. It's because it delves into his home. I forgot what the hell he called it. But it's basically his museum. He's a avid collector of what can only be described as weird fucking shit. From movies to, movies, comics, the weird, the strange, the out there. He's really into that shit, but I am too, so ergo why I'm reading it. And it's really interesting. The way he speaks is just so poetic. He says, like, some of them, they say, like, half of his half of his checks from movies goes towards expanding his collections in his house. I don't know if you can see. some of the shit.
Oh my god.
The hat,
I need to see that.
The Hatbox Ghost in the back. But it's a lot. A lot. Like, look, he has fucking, what's her name? The Exorcist just chilling on a couch.
What the fuck? That is so creepy.
He loves monsters, though. And he does a whole thing where he goes into how much he connects with monsters. Actually, the intro, let me read a little bit of it. Because it's not, what's it called? A foreword? Yeah, Forward by Guillermo del Toro. When I was a child, I was going to do his accent, but I cannot do accents, so never mind. A very young child, a hairline fracture became evident in my soul. I felt growing disenfranchised, puzzled, and at odds with the adult world. It was made up of rules and notions that were both alien and unexplained, and life came to feel like a rigged game. It was almost entirely composed of lies. Adults lie to themselves and to others. They endorse their concerns and inventions, the ones they all agree to: money, power, war, repression, as real, but fantasy is frowned upon as childish. For some of us, it is not. I believe that we are all burst with a certain quality of glass within us, and that we resonate with specific vibrations, notes of the universe. The note I resonate with is low, dark, and full of monsters. Seeing one of my favorite creatures, I turn into Bernini, Saint Teresa, or Stanley Gitu. Yeah, and then he just goes on and on about monsters. But yeah, it's also an interesting dive into who he is as a person. Yeah.
That sounds really interesting.
Yeah.
We need to do a Guillermo del Toro series in the future.
Honestly, I think it would be great. Well, okay. Little sidetrack. We did the Steven Spielberg. No. The Martin Scorsese.
You're right.
The Scorsese Files. This was last year. You yourself went and looked at all of Spielberg shit, but we never did like
episodes.
Yeah, we never did episodes. I think Guillermo del Toro is, I don't know which one you would officially want to do next. There's several films. Kronos. Have you seen Kronos? Kronos was his first film, 1993.
I've only ever seen Shape of Water and Pan's Labyrinth.
Oh, okay.
So that makes it easier. Everything else, no.
Okay. Yeah, you could see the Hellboys, Kronos, The Devil's Backbone. That's actually, there's another one. Shoot, I forgot. But yeah, that would be cool to do, I think, eventually.
Mm-hmm.
He's part of your shrine now.
I have no shrine. Stop defacing my room. Anyway, is that it for the week?
Yeah, pretty much. That's been taking up my time.
I do want to take this time and before we get on to the other things, because we don't want to end on a very dour note, but it has been on a daily basis now disheartening, to say the least, with what is happening with COVID. Just the last week, we're now going anywhere from 50,000 to 55,000 new cases of COVID a day, nationally. COVID's on the rise, and not just Florida, but Texas and Nevada. Of course, California, where we live, Peter and I. It has been so depressing watching people, young people, just ignore reality and, cluster together in a swimming pool or on a beach or in a bar, even though we're continuously reading and hearing stories of people who have not only gotten sick but have died because they caught COVID at that very kind of setting. I do not understand why the city of San Diego didn't close the beaches. It seems as if they were the only beaches that were open in California. And it's been depressing, I'm not going to lie. And as the days get closer, not closer, but as the days go on, I've had conversations with people on our own team here about family members or friends of family that have acted recklessly. Some that seemingly got away with it, and some that haven't gotten away with it. Just a few days ago, I heard friends of the family were at a bar in Texas. The 20th of June. One of them already died, and the rest of them got positive tests for COVID-19. And they all have symptoms. And that's very bad. It's very saddening. I don't want to lose them. But they're Texas Republicans who worship Trump, and I can only imagine why they were given the indication why wearing a mask or going to is a bad thing and going to a bar is a good thing. Yeah. And I should also mention, as we do these shows, at this point there are over 130,000 Americans dead because of COVID-19. And we are accelerating as far as the rate of infections to a degree of which Dr. Fauci has said we could be seeing days where 100,000 people a day get infected. And to add on top of that, because of none of this is already enough, Disney World is still planning on opening this week in Florida.
Fucking Florida, man. Oh my god.
Well, you saw the comments that I shared about Governor DeSantis from Florida saying that it's encouraging people to go outside because it's less likely you'll catch the coronavirus if you're not.
The heat doesn't kill the coronavirus. Everyone said, oh, the heat kills it. It'll be gone by summer. We're in summer. Why isn't the heat killing it?
I'm pretty sure we just passed the midway point of summer. Summer's half over.
Yeah. Oh, God.
I just saw a social media post by somebody who you and I both know.
Oh, yes.
Saying that according to the LA Times, in the last 14 days, there have been 50 residents of the Imperial Valley that have died to COVID-19.
Holy
50
shit.
people in 2 weeks.
That's a number. That's definitely a fucking number.
We just cracked 7,000 overall legacy positive cases of COVID-19, and the active cases is hovering around 1,100. It goes up and down every few days depending on
who dies,
if people died or not. Yeah.
I mean, as someone who technically is an essential worker, me and Kyle, it's scary. I'm at the point where I have to get tested every week. Tomorrow I'm going to get tested. And it's frustrating just because there really is nothing you can do. There isn't, people you can't control. So all you can do is control yourself. But a pandemic, it doesn't work on just... How do I explain this? Other areas of life in which would be considered dangerous, a lot of the time, as long as you focus on yourself, you'll be okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that's easy because it's like, okay, everything is on me. I control my actions. If I know this is dangerous, I don't do that. I don't do this. Wear my seatbelt, all that kind of shit. With this, it doesn't matter how good you do, how careful you are. If everyone around you isn't careful, that's what really fucks you up. That's what can you do you in. So it just feels like we are doing right now. You just have to yell into the void and hope that someone listens and complies and then just goes, maybe I don't need to go to a crowded beach with thousands of other people. Maybe I don't need to go to a bar. Maybe there's a million things I don't have to do. Maybe if I can just understand, 100,000 people died. Like, imagine that. That's such a huge number. 130,000 people died. And that's only the people that died.
Yeah.
There's many people that, and I was reading this and it was terrifying, that just are perpetually sick. They've been sick for months now. For months. They may be sick for the rest of their life. And however long that may be. That's terrifying. For months having a fever. For months being weak. And, getting diarrhea and vomiting. And just back and forth symptoms. To where it's like your body just, it's like hell. It really is. That's the way the people that suffer from that describe it. It's not just, either living or dying. There's a lot of stuff in between that can happen because of this COVID virus that will sometimes make you feel like you got the short end of the stick, even if you're alive. Yeah, take it seriously. I know we say this every week, but it's pretty important. It's everything right now. Because, and even if you're a sociopath and you don't care about other people, and you can only care about yourself, the world is at a standstill. There's so much shit you can't do because of this pandemic. But the faster that it's over, then you can go on and do shit. You can go out. You can go to Disney World, Disneyland, whatever Disney you want to Disney up. You can go and be around people. In sports, you can go to sports things. You can go to concerts. You can do this. You can do that. Right now, why risk it on being able to do nothing already? So, yeah, just wear a mask. Don't go anywhere unless completely necessary. All that jazz.
Yeah, I don't know what else I can say. Just stay in your home, stay safe, and avoid anyone you know who is flippant and doesn't care and is in contact with anyone and everyone. Just don't. Don't risk yourself because of their stupidity and ignorance. Don't. So, what next, Peter? Tom Hanks? What happened with Tom Hanks and the movie?
Nothing much with Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks has Dad Movie, the movie, coming out soon.
Yeah.
On Apple TV. And, he's an old-timer. Been hanging out with Spielberg a little too much. And I guess they asked him. He's like, yeah, I'm disappointed. I don't have the direct quote, and it takes too long to load, so fuck it. I'm winging it. Basically, he said, little disappointed, and then he went on to go like, the sound and picture quality are so much better in movies. So, or not in movies, in movie theaters. So, would have preferred it in a movie theater, which is the basic argument. But again, if it wasn't a pandemic, I would 100,000% be on his side, because there's just nothing like a movie theater experience. I don't give a fuck how good your setup is. Like, the only way I understand these people who are like, but I have a real nice TV and surround sound. It's the same as a theater, right? No, fuck you. It isn't. All your money was wasted. The only people that I think can go like, yeah, fuck movie theaters are the people that literally have their own movie theaters in their houses, like those uber rich fuckers. They have a claim. They can say that, like, yeah, they got a movie theater at home, but everyone else, no. But then also the experience of watching movies with others, it really is a shared experience. Even though you're just sitting there watching a movie and you're not really directly interacting with anyone else around you, but it is an experience to watch a movie with others in that format. What also makes it great is you don't know the people around you.
Mm-hmm.
So it just feels like such a human experience. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. It's a communal experience.
Just these random people where, we're sharing in joy at a character triumphing, fear at a monster scurrying about, laughter at a funny joke. It's cool. I'll miss it.
Yeah. It's we're now heading quickly down mid-July, and we haven't been in a movie theater since early March. That's something. And as far as the movie, the movie, starring Tom Hanks, America's Dad,
that's Bernie Sanders.
Well, he's a little too old to be just a dad at this point, I prefer to call him America's grandpa. We will be reviewing the film in the coming. I don't know if we'll do it next week because we have two other movies that we want to get. We want to get to Greyhound, which is this movie, and then at some point we want to do Disclosure, right, which is the trans documentary on Netflix.
Yeah.
So we'll see which one we decide to do first. I think it's a miracle we're actually finding movies to review on what would be considered now a weekly basis. So, I mean, slim pickings, right? But
it's something.
It's something. So Walmart announced a partnership with Tribeca Film Festival to convert 160 of its parking locations into drive-in theaters. What the fuck? I never saw this coming.
I gotta tell you,
Walmart.
Especially with these next two stories, there is somebody out there that is listening to this podcast, and they're just like, that.
It's weird, isn't it? That was the other story was creepy.
They're geniuses. They're just they got their pulse on fucking society. They know what needs to be done. That steal.
Well,
their
you know
ideas.
what, Peter? I agree with you so much. I mean, we you could almost say we were singularly responsible for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. being renewed for 3 seasons past its what it would have been canceled. So as you say, we got the job done, didn't we?
Immigrants. We get the job done. No, S.H.I.E.L.D. was a cruel joke against me.
S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Yeah.
It really was. That's why I really love those renewal announcements so much, because it kind of is an anomaly in your pantheon, your record of being right, where its existence continuously proves you wrong. I don't know who in the universe thought that would be funny, but God bless him.
It's okay. The end is nigh.
Did you predict it? I don't think you did. So, I mean,
I predict that
wrong again.
I predict that it'll end at the end of the season. It will not be renewed.
I mean, after it's already been announced? Now you're going to claim that that's some kind of a big prediction?
So Walmart, they're doing their thing. I think I saw some people on Twitter mad about this. But it's Twitter, so I don't know. I don't know how seriously to take it. But I like this. I think it's a good idea. I think drive-ins, for the most part, are pretty fucking safe. Like, you just, drive in to the parking lot, I assume. There's going to be a big screen. I know the drive-in that used to be here is they had the speakers that you used to be able to hang on to the car, but you could also just tune to a certain
radio station.
And if they do that, it's like you never even have to leave your car. You could just drive in.
We're getting old school, aren't we? It's listening to the radio now.
It's great. Where's the aux cord? No, I think it's fantastic. I think it's a great idea. I really would like to go to one.
Oh, yeah.
I doubt it'll happen anywhere near us.
There is, of course, the potential that a metropolitan area like San Diego could have it. And, I mean, it is in driving distance.
That's such a long time to be in a car, though.
It's a day.
Because
it's a day.
You drive there, and then you spend, 4 hours in the car, and then you drive back. So that's like 4, 5, 6. That's 8 hours in a car.
It's also the only way to be safe.
Yeah, that's why. It's not like if it was a regular trip. It's like, you get out, you walk around, maybe do other shit. But it's like, no, you stay in that fucking vehicle. But I don't know. We'll see, because it doesn't happen till August. I'll probably be desperate enough by then to...
That's only next month.
Yeah. I'll probably be desperate enough by then to just do anything, go anywhere. I think it's cool. I think drive-ins need to come back. I love it.
There was a comment on the announcement of this where someone was like, now that is thinking outside the box.
Is it a pun?
For Walmart.
Oh, for Walmart. Yeah, I would say so. Walmart doesn't really usually do out there shit like that. I mean, fuck Walmart on like every level, I guess.
Yeah, that of course should be without say.
But also, drive-ins, that's cool. I like it.
Yeah, so now to the news that is... this made me go like, whoa. Peter, hey, I don't want to, draw attention to this, but are you a witch?
I've been accused of that by who? Was it you? Was it Moreno? It's
I don't know.
Very sexist.
Well, this is Tron. Over the weekend, some reporters from the Diz Insider were teasing they had an update about the Tron franchise as a whole, and it would be rather serendipitous because Peter and I just finished a month-long theme for our
dive into the world of Tron.
To the Table podcast, which you can still listen to. Tron Legacy, and Tron Uprising. And we ended off the podcast, or the series, saying that it would be an amazing template for a Disney Plus show. And we have an update. And Peter, do you have that update?
So it seems the Diz Insider, I don't think they've officially come out with what they have yet.
Right.
But they did write something that I think made it pretty clear whatever they're gonna release is gonna be.
Mhm.
So it's called An Update on Tron, exclusive by Derek Cornell. And it basically just goes into some of the other shit that was supposed to be released in between Tron Legacy and now, which was, I guess, earlier, like he says, earlier this year, it was revealed a Tron series from John Ridley for Disney Plus was scrapped. Apparently there was some shit that was supposed to be Disney Plus and they just scrapped it.
That's the first I hear of it.
It is unknown why the studio decided to scrap the project. We heard it was due.
Which, hold on a minute. By the way, that would make it the 100th thing. The 100th thing that was scrapped for Disney Plus. What is going on over there?
Yeah, they're really shitting the bed on Disney Plus. I mean, I don't know. Like, everyone has it. Maybe they're not. It just pisses me off how little Disney has to try. God damn it. It is unknown why the studio decided to scrap the project. We heard it was due to cost and Disney's enthusiasm for bringing the world of Tron back to the big screen. A couple months back, our trusted source informed us that a Tron reboot with Jared Leto is still in the works with a director search underway. Now, this is not the most significant update I've heard. From what I've been told, the film is expected to be more of a Tron sequel rather than a reboot, and the cast from Tron Legacy could return. So, the plot thickens. And then they sort of bring it, and then the last paragraph is where it's like, okay, it's pretty obvious what they were hinting at. They talk about Tron Legacy. So they said, despite bringing back Bridges, Tron Legacy didn't seem to resonate with critics, many stating the film and its characters lacked emotion and substance. However, the film was financially profitable for Disney, and it too has gained its own following. And fans have been clamoring for another film, and don't worry, ... you'll get one. And then that's where they leave it at.
That's pretty unambiguous.
Yeah.
About what they're hinting at. So based on what you just said, Tron 3's happening?
It seems that way, doesn't it? I mean, it's
what?
That's a hard ass hint. That's a wink and a nudge if I've ever seen one. Again, all speculation right now. Maybe that's just unclever misdirection. But you start off by talking about the series that was supposed to be in Disney Plus, and then you go like, well, Disney, some believe that it was because they wanted to bring, Tron back to the big screen. And then you talk about, a few months rumored Tron reboot with Jared Leto. Some films, like, they just grab a random A-list actor and then attach it to, like, a film. Isn't that weird? With, like, no story, no nothing. It's just,
right.
Boom.
Jared Leto?
Who are you going to be playing? I don't know yet. Just, you're attached to it. It really seems that way. But then they hint, like, well, actually, from more that's come out, it's probably going to be more of a sequel than a reboot. So, probably not a direct sequel, but like within the same world, yada yada yada, that shit. And then of course, I think most telling was the way it ended with let me just reread it, because fudge nuggets. Oh no, I kind of exited out of it. Don't worry, I'm back. Let me go to the bottom. Oh, and fans have been clamoring for another film, and don't worry, ... you'll get one. Like, that's such a definitive statement, especially with the ...
right,
you'll get one. So, yeah, I think this all but confirms Tron, and I don't know if I'd call it Tron 3, but another Tron film seems to very much be in the works. Now, because we're in a pandemic, who fucking knows? A lot of shit is probably going to be shifted around, fall apart, be announced in between this weird sort of what do you call it? Stationary time that the movie industry is in. But and then I'm sure in the days, I don't think weeks, in the days ahead, because it seemed like they would probably drop that info soon. We'll find out more. But yeah, I don't know who's listening to our podcast and then just going like, yeah, okay, you're right. Let me get on this.
Yeah, it is surprising if that is the case, because it was literally crickets, and now all of a sudden there has been movement. It
was our podcast.
But no mention of who would be brought in to work on the movie. We're not at that point yet.
No.
As far as the director is concerned.
Again, maybe that's what will be announced. That's the thing. We haven't gotten the official announcement yet. This was just more of a tease of like, hey, we're going to drop some knowledge soon. Wink, wink, wink. About Tron. Wink, 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 wink. But from all the winks, I think it's pretty easy to discern that it's going to be a movie. Now, is this the Jared Leto seek whatever type thing? I don't know. The way Disney works, they announce, they cancel, they bring back, they reconfigure, they do all that shit. Look at fucking Lucasfilm. I don't know what's in the works, what's not in the works. So many things have been announced and quietly shelved. Like, you don't know. You don't know. Is it the Jared Leto thing? There's a good chance, maybe. Or maybe it's just an entirely new Tron film. They've been in the mood, Disney, lately, of just getting a director they really like and trust, and then just attaching their name, and just hiring them and go like, boom, make us a Tron film,
Mm-hmm.
They did that. I feel like they did that with Taika Waititi in Star Wars. Like, we like you, Taika. Make a Star War. What about? I don't know. You figure it out. It's that kind of shit. So maybe they find a director and go like, hey, we like you. Kenneth Branagh. Make a Tron.
No, don't bother with Kenneth Branagh.
Well,
don't bother with Jon Favreau. Don't bother with J.J. Abrams. Don't.
I'm telling. Well, I don't know what to tell you. Disney has a very, very small stack of directors that they just keep going back to.
The Russos.
The Russos. The Russos are taking on the Tron cinematic universe. But yeah, I'm very excited to learn more details.
I am too. This is unexpected, an unexpected surprise, but a welcome one for sure. I still, they're gonna do it again. I hope things work out this time. Considering the history of this franchise, just give it to somebody who knows what to do with it. Make it be a hit, and then we can move forward with this.
They need at least one official all-around hit with Tron. Just one. You need just one hit where financially, critically, and audience-wise, everyone's like, "Oh yeah, that was fucking good." Just give me one of those.
Well, with that, shall we move on to Eurovision?
Why not?
Eurovision Song Contest. The Story of Fire Saga, the movie. Netflix. Will Ferrell, Rachel McAdams, Pierce Brosnan, Dan Stevens.
Eurovision Song Contest. The Story of Fire Saga. Nobody wins solo. When aspiring musicians Lars and Sigrid are given the opportunity of a lifetime to represent their country at the world's biggest song competition, they finally have a chance to prove that any dream is a dream worth fighting for. And then, all the people you spoke of. So, what'd you think of it?
Okay, you're not gonna do that to me. So this was a fascinating one to get into because I've seen the trailer and I was like, what the fuck is this? And then I've heard of the name Eurovision before, but I wasn't really familiar with what it really meant. And so it is this song contest that's based in reality. And evidently Will Ferrell did months-long research shadowing the last Eurovision there was and stuff like that. This is a complicated little nut. Yeah.
I don't know why people are talking about Hamilton when they can be talking about this film right here.
I'll tell you this. When this movie ended, I was not regretting my experience. I'll say that. I really had a lot of fun with this movie. It was, for the most part, entertaining. Now, this is crazy because there's a lot of this movie that is kind of meandering and dead weight in the middle of it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of jokes that don't land, mainly in the middle of it. There are shticks that at this point are considered beyond cliches. The whole movie, I think, could be called a cliche at this point. It doesn't all work, but there's a lot of little moments in here that work really well to the point where it got kind of a enormous laugh out of me. And on that level, I think it was a success. It's weird. Like, I think this movie is kind of a mess and all over the place. There are parts of it that I think are good. It doesn't all get there. And yet, I kind of love the experience. Just because, whoa. Well, this was something. You know?
I like Will Ferrell. I actually really do. I think he's had some pretty good comedic films. One of my favorite is Kicking and Screaming, which is one of a lesser known of his that I just think is so fucking funny. To me, these kinds of films, like Will Ferrell film or what's his name, Adam Sandler films.
Yeah.
I understand they're not great.
Yeah.
But they're just kind of like a warm blanket.
Yeah.
You know, they're cozy. And in these
you
times,
know what it is. You know what you're getting into. And just not to cut you off, but to cut you off so I can beat you to the punch. For the times that, look at how depressing this show was 20 minutes ago. Let's just, to have something like this was like a welcome. Mm-hmm. It was welcome. I'll just put it that way. I needed something like this. I needed something to make me laugh, even though it's like by no means great as a comedy or as a film.
Yeah.
But I kind of needed this, whatever this was.
I like the cozy comedies like this, where they're just dumb. Most of the jokes don't land, but for some reason, I'm still enjoying it.
Yeah.
There's not particularly well made, but also funny. Yeah. It's just one of those where you can watch it and you feel cozy.
Yeah.
You're in this just hyperly ridiculous world, and you know what you're getting, and yeah, I enjoyed my time. Like there are jokes I feel that work.
Yes.
When the boat
There are moments, like I said, there are moments. Oh my God.
when the boat blew up.
No, I get it. By the way, spoilers if you care for this movie. But because we have to for those moments. No, that to me was the biggest laugh I got the entire movie. Look, I don't care. I'll fight anybody on this. That was a moment of cinematic perfection. I'll tell you what, like Sigrid and Lars, like, they're sad because they fucked up in a bad way. Like, they really fucked up, and they're about to have some kind of an emotional connection. They're leaning into each other to kiss, and as they're about to meet lips to lips on the screen, in the background there's a boat party with the other contestants that are going that are there, and as the two are about to touch their lips, there's like a, oh my God, and out of left field, out of nowhere, a super loud, fiery explosion coming from the boat that's literally in the exact position on screen as where their lips were about to meet. And oh my God, I was crying, laughing because first of all, I just think that cutaway was so funny. And then like a half second later, I realized, no, they didn't just do what I think they did. And they killed off the entire talent that beat them in that contest, and by default they advanced to the next round. Oh my! It took me, I think, a good 5 minutes to compose myself because I don't know why I wasn't expecting it, but like from that moment on, like, okay, I know what this movie is. I'm still gonna watch it because this is just too stupid not to watch.
But just the way they reacted, like, oh no, all of Iceland's greatest talent is gone. And like they threw like fucking body parts onto the deck, and
yeah, the debris of the ship is hitting them because they're at sea, they're on the deck, and somebody's arm literally hits them.
That shit was funny to me.
I didn't expect it. I think I should have seen it coming, considering what the movie was. But that moment legitimately was great. I'd watch the movie again just to see that moment.
I like the stupid parts are what really sell it for me. Like the fact, the whole elves thing, I knew it was gonna play into it somehow.
Yeah.
But the elves are real and they fucking saved him. But then also like the ghost, you see it first time, like, oh, it's trying to warn him, like, oh, there's this conspiracy going on, and I was like, oh, I guess this is gonna be a big part. But then it's just that one guy, and then they kill him. And then she comes back. He's like, no, like, what do you suck, like, he already tried to kill me, he's dead. Like, you're a very unhelpful ghost. Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those movies where you could tell there's a lot of cameos, but guess what, bitches? I'm American. I don't know shit about this fucking Eurovision. All right, it's all about The Voice. It's all about American Idol. Okay. None of this.
America's Got Talent.
America's Got Talent. None of this Europe trash going on. I don't know nothing about that. So yeah, there's a lot of cameos, and I'm like, I can tell you're a cameo, but I don't know who you are.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that.
There's a big sequence in the middle of this movie that's all just a bunch of cameos from
musical sequence.
Yeah. It was kind of abrupt, but it strangely worked. I don't know. It was.
I just remember when I was watching it, I think was like, Hamilton, eat your heart out. This is the real musical sensation sweeping the nation.
Well, there were a lot of the movie features a lot of music, a lot of musical sets with what it is portraying the Eurovision Song Contest, and
the locations were beautiful too.
Oh, they were. Oh my God, they were. I wish we would have gotten to see more of it though, from Iceland. But the pop songs I think they were all written by one guy. They were all written for this movie. So, and there was some. I mean, look, that's obviously a big part of the identity of the movie. When you cut away to like over the top, like there's this Viking, this guy dressed in a Viking, and he's singing a song as part of his country's act or something. I mean, I think one of the first opening numbers of the movie is Volcano Man.
Yeah.
With and what's really interesting though, I'm fascinated by this stage of Rachel McAdams' career choices.
Rachel McAdams is awesome.
No, I love her as an actress, but like lately she's getting more into comedy. She had a big hit with Game Night.
Game Night was also real funny.
Mm-hmm.
No, yeah, I like that she's mixing it up, and also comedies are probably more chill, relaxed.
They're more fun, I would imagine.
And then also, she's actually really good comedically.
Yeah, which is hard.
Yeah,
I'd say
it's really hard. You know what? I take it back. Fuck her. Like, it's how dare you be like fucking quadruple threat talented, and I'm over here untalented.
You have a talent, Peter.
Oh yeah.
There's nobody I know more that can bring down a room better than you.
Thank you. That means a lot coming specifically from you. Another one of my favorite running gags is the Americans. And he's just like, he hates Americans. And then they have those like American college kids that, of course, backpacking through Europe or like vacationing there. And then he keeps just trying to insult them. And it just goes over their head.
Yeah. It's interesting because like I think once was fine, and I was wondering because it kept happening, and I was like, whoa, so it's gonna be a bit throughout this thing, and I was wondering how it's gonna like land ultimately, but I laughed every time. I thought it was funny, and to be honest with you, considering where we are in the world right now, I mean, yeah.
Well, what really sold it for me was at the very end. When they're back in Iceland and they're singing, and the Americans are at the back, and he just keeps insulting them and going in, and they're just like, that's funny. And then she's like, okay, like chill, but he's just like, fuck you.
He's so serious about it.
Like, fucking he's not Starbucks. At all, like, even joking. I know. It's so stupid.
No, that first interaction when he was like hurling, Starbucks at them, and then the one girl's like, "Where is it?" and then like they walk away with, "Was he trying to help?"
It's a dumb movie. It really is.
It is, but that's why I had a I think there's something to be said for movies like that.
Yeah.
I don't know if maybe comfort food is the right way of putting it.
It is for me.
I was comforted.
Mm-hmm.
I hadn't seen a movie that dumb in a while, and I enjoyed the experience. I was entertained.
Yeah. I think we need these. I don't think they should go away. I
hope not.
Yeah. I like a good, just dumb as fuck comedy where I know what I'm getting into, and it's just curl up and watch it. Most of the jokes don't land, but that's okay. Because the ones that do, it's funny.
Well, I mean, a lot of it is, I don't know if it falls into the category of hijinks, but maybe physical humor. But I mean, Sigrid and Lars are not especially talented, and I think obviously that's the joke, and it's spectacularly disastrous when they make their national debut, and literally every fucking performance is a train wreck. I loved it. I loved seeing it. I don't know what it is about especially about physical humor that really gets me, but oh my god, because they got me that second time, because when they I think it was the semifinals, it's the second time they're performing, and this is the set with the hamster wheel.
Mm-hmm.
they fucking got me. I thought, because like things were going really well for like half of the performance. They were doing good, like unbelievably good. And I was like, oh, okay. Let's see where this goes. And then, oh no, the scarf is gonna get tangled up in the hamster wheel, and oh my god, I before it even happened, I paused it because I was like, no, those bastards got me. It's funny, I was laughing, but like, come on. And then it happened, and I was like, fuck, that should have killed them.
Yeah.
That really should have killed them. Like, her fucking scarf got tangled up in the wheel, and then she was dragged by it.
Oh yeah.
And then if that wasn't enough, even after all that happens, the whole audience is in shock. They still managed to get up and finish the performance. I don't know why. It's not like, again, this is not like custom humor, but it works. And I found that to be funny.
Was that Rachel McAdams' real voice?
No, of course not.
Really?
No, it wasn't. It was.
I'm pretty sure that was Will Ferrell's real voice.
It was Will Ferrell. No, Rachel McAdams was dubbed by a Swedish singer, from what I read.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was a good voice, but not hers.
That's why I was about to say, if she can sing too, what the fuck?
No, she's not. No, she can't do that. No.
Okay.
No.
I just need to know there's something she can't do to feel better about myself. Yeah. What are the moments? It's so dumb. Where Rachel McAdams just asked the Russian if he's gay.
Oh my god.
And he's like, "Oh no, I'm Russian. There's no Russian gays." She's like, "What?" Like, yeah, there's no gay people in all of Russia. She's like, statistically though, that just doesn't seem possible. And then she's like, "Are you sure?" Like,
well, I found that funny for other reasons. I mean, first of all, I mean, that was part of it too. Mm-hmm. But when she asks him, like, his voice gets a little. You notice he was a little caught off guard by that. His voice got a little high, like nervously high for a second. But then also, that character played by Dan Stevens, who also, if you know, Dan Stevens also did The Beast and Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah.
That character's nature is a joke in and of itself because, okay, so is this... Apparently he's supposed to be sexually ambiguous. I didn't think there was anything ambiguous about that. From like the first performance, the rehearsal performance where we see him, and it's funny because I was watching Double Toasted, Double Toasted, their review on this movie, and one of them was like saying that the first time we see Dan Stevens' Russian character, like these, you have like, because we have him doing the rehearsal, and then you have like these guy dancers, and the guy from Double Toasted was saying there's this scene where like the guy's legs open up, and there are these guys that are literally, I guess, supposed to be crawling out of his ass or something. It's very, I think, transparent what's supposed to be implied there, and yet it seems as if Seagrett didn't realize that until the very end of the movie.
But that's why it's so funny.
Which I thought was funny as well. Yeah.
It's so dumb. Don Stevens. That's another thing that I thought was weird, because it's like, these are the films where you know everything that is going to be going into it. You just do. Yeah. And to me, it's like, okay, Dan Stevens is the hotshot projected #1 winner. He's going to be the bad guy. He's going to come in and try and break up the band. And then like all this, like, he's going to be malicious, evil. Right. Piece
you
of
see
shit.
It coming a mile away.
But he's not.
Yeah, that was surprising.
When he's talking about running away with Sigrid or whatever.
Secret, yeah.
Secret, sorry. Secret.
Kind of like rhymes with cigarette?
Secret. Oh, yeah. It's like you're saying secret. You're saying it quick. Sigrid.
Right.
Sigrid. Okay. Sigrid, you think, okay, he's just doing that to try and get them to fight, to break them up, so he can ensure that he wins. Yeah. But no, he actually does genuinely want to run off with her. And then at the end, you think, he'd come out like, no, I'm supposed to win. Just have one of those moments. But no, he's just like, oh, I'm happy for them. So it's like, oh,
in fact,
okay.
I think he says several times he's not at all threatened by them.
Yeah.
Not in the least.
But you think that's just cover for so he doesn't reveal his evil plan too early. But it's like, no, like he really is just kind of a dude who's there. And I thought that was so weird because they go through all of the tropes, all the generic, like, bad guy in this situation, tropes, but then he just isn't. They have that random guy, I guess, be the the one that gets stabbed by the elf.
I think his name was Victor. He was one of the people on the, I guess, committee for something of Iceland.
I feel like if you were Icelandic, there's so much shit you would get that's going on here. But
yeah, because the whole thing with the villain and the motivation is he doesn't want Iceland to get anywhere near successful because them hosting Eurovision would bankrupt them, evidently speaking. And no one else seems to care about that.
That is funny, though.
At all.
But I think it's implied that he's he's the one that ruined Iceland, and he doesn't want to be blamed. So, yeah. I don't know. An elf stabbed him to death, which I just think is so funny.
That was, yeah. Oh, God.
How old is Pierce Brosnan?
I don't know.
He looks...
Did he look older?
He looks good.
He looks good.
Yeah. He looks real good. I don't know.
I don't even think he looks that old in real life, if I'm going to be honest. I think they kind of aged him up.
They might have.
I don't remember him.
In the very first scene, where, of course, they just kind of were supposed to make him young, like, it seems like all they really did was, like, dye his hair brown, and it's like, shit, like, he almost looks 90s Pierce Brosnan here. From, quick glimpses and certain angles. Like, yeah, I don't know.
He's 67.
Yeah. 67. No, he looks good. Looks like a silver-foxed 50-year-old.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you're right. Like, I would think, yeah, like mid-late 50s. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, not bad genes.
No.
Not at all. Yeah, I was genuinely charmed, though, by Rachael McAdams as Sigrid. And I'm really excited about what she does next. Because I think she may have stumbled onto something sweet with comedy. I know that she's done romantic comedies in the past, and I think those were all well and good. But yeah, this is something else. This is why I was very disappointed with what they did with her in Doctor Strange, where she's kind of like nothing. And like, if you just give like an interesting character to Rachael McAdams, like make her like a sorcerer superhero or something, I think she'd hit that out of the park. I really think she would.
Yeah, that's why I was so disappointed when they cast her in Doctor Strange. Because she's so much more than like a throwaway love interest.
Yeah.
Like, don't waste her with that. Give her something better than that. That's why I kind of get frustrated when like these cast lists for a new movie comes out and it's like, oh man, look at all these great actors, but I know they're going to be like a side character that doesn't really do much of anything.
Well, that seemed to bother you a lot in Black Panther.
Yeah, it did.
with Lupita Nyong'o.
She was just there. She was love interest. You notice no one talks about her talking about the Marvel Universe.
At all.
At all.
No.
Most people probably forgot she was in the movie. They talk about his sister. What's her?
Shuri. Yeah.
What's
Denai Guerrero.
Denai Guerrero, but they never talk about Lupita Nyong'o because she was just love interest girl. That's it. Let's see if she's even in Black Panther 2. Well, that's what sucks too, because it seems like for their sequels, they try and shed a lot of the secondary characters that just are there included because they felt they had to include them in the first film.
Yeah.
But then when they start really going for shit in the second film, they just start, shedding that quote unquote dead weight.
And it's a shame, and especially with Black Panther, because that is an amazing cast.
Yes.
Regardless of the roles that they got. And it's even more insulting, I'd say, because it is fucking Lupita Nyong'o. And like, to give it even more attention to how little that character is talked about, I think, first of all, you and I are in the same page that Andy Serkis kind of stole that movie.
Yeah.
Just in general.
He was so great.
It's kind of fucked up to say because it's the majority black cast and it is a white guy. But I mean, not that it's intended that way, of course, but that's just one of the sad realities of it. On the other hand, I think Daniel Kaluuya gets more traffic just people asking, where the fuck is he? In the events of like Infinity War or Endgame or that such. So
locked up somewhere, I guess. Or I assume he probably locked him up. I could have sworn I saw him though in the first Infinity War trailer.
You have these like really weird time warp moments, and then like we look at the actual evidence and like, well, because I remember you saying that you saw Daniel Kaluuya in the trailer for Infinity War.
I did. He was standing next to Black Panther. I saw it because I remember thinking like, oh yeah, he's supposed. Because I didn't even think about, but when I saw it, I was like, oh yeah, that actor, he's supposed to be in Black Panther. So it's like, okay, I guess he doesn't die in the movie then. I guess they're cool. By the end of the movie, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Maybe I'm shifting into alternate universes. I don't know. What's it called? The wet effect where shit changes? Berenstein and Berenstein? The Berenstein Bears? Where everyone thought that it was with the EIN, but it was with a A. I forgot what the fuck it's called, but maybe it's that.
Yeah.
Point is, cast what's her fucking name in better shit.
Rachael McAdams.
She's leading role material.
Absolutely. Any other thoughts on Eurovision?
Whatever you think it is, it's exactly that. And based on that, you will know whether you want to see it or not. I think it's very clear that these kinds of movies are a comfort food, and comfort food is, I'd say it's a little necessary in these times.
Oh yeah.
So if you're in the same boat, like go watch it. If you're not, not to watch it.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Thank you so much, Peter, for being here, and thank you all for listening. I want to remind you that our shows are available on Spotify and Apple and CastBox every single week. Weekly recaps on The Last Airbender and S.H.I.E.L.D. and other stuff. Fantasy Fair, as Peter wanted to remind you all, it's very important to him to remind you that Fantasy Fair is going to have its review of Hamilton.
Very exclusive
with Kyle
review.
Lira, Alexis Soto,
Only so many people were invited.
On and so forth. It seems that is true. Until next time, we'll see you here under the spotlight. Bye-bye.